Red is what we stole from Paul Newman. So Paul Newman put his face on salad dressing and gave away his share of the profits. Here we made a brand that people would want to buy, stuff that people would want to buy, and we gave away, so to speak, our share.
You know, what's great about Red is I'm not asking you to give money or write a check for charity. I'm asking you to buy Red products, and the companies who make those products will be writing a check to charity. That's so cool. And of course, if you tell your friends and more people buy Red products, well then those companies do well, but so do we.
Upwards of 25 million people are HIV positive in Africa. The AIDS pandemic there was the biggest healthcare crisis of all time. Sadly enough, more and more people become positive every day because they don't have education, et cetera, et cetera. This medicine that few people understand is you can be really almost dead from AIDS, and if you start taking this medicine, you really come back to life. You look like you or I do after 60 or 70 days, and it costs 35 cents. It is amazing. And it just seemed such a un-American thing, honestly, that these medicines, which are the product of American ingenuity, creativity, science, and so forth, and that they were so cheap that Americans wouldn't figure out a way to get them to people who would die if they don't have them.
In about 60 days, an HIV patient in Africa can go from here to here. We call this transformation the Lazarus effect. It's the result of 2 pills a day taken by an HIV/AIDS patient for about 60 days. Learn more about how you can help give people this chance at life at joinred.com.
When we started in 1999, we didn't think we needed a brand. We thought we were going to lobby in Washington and London and get the government to put up the money. But then we realized after doing that for a while that we needed the private sector's creativity, imagination, and storytelling capacity, really, to build public support. We couldn't do that only by lobbying in D.C. And then we thought, how are we going to do that? Then we thought, we'll do a brand. Well, Bono, I think, had the idea to call it Red. Because we would run around Washington telling people, it's an emergency. And people would nod, and then they didn't do anything. And what was very clear very quickly was that although you could tell them it was an emergency, no one really thought it was an emergency. So what's the symbol of emergency is a red light, like stop. So the red came out of that emergency idea. B's idea was, we've got to convince people that 4,500 people dying every day, 4,500 people dying every day, it was worth repeating, is something that is an emergency people need to pay attention to.
Pick 2 words, desire and virtue. Words that are not often in each other's company. Some people would feel that desire and virtue are at odds with each other. With Red, desire and virtue work together. You can do something you want, something you like, something you admire, you can buy it, have it. And at the same time, it have a nobility of purpose in that it's saving somebody's life.
A lot of companies said no to us at the beginning, a lot, because we were, and in fairness to them, they were kind of right, because the thing we were saying was really an act of the imagination. Because who knew that people were going to buy things related to AIDS in Africa? Who knew that people were going to buy things related to people who live that far away from them? If you had done it for, Katrina victims, people might have gone, oh, okay, I get that. People will want to do that. But we went in there and said, we want you to work on AIDS in Africa, eliminating AIDS in Africa. And people in some companies looked around and went, sounds like a great idea, fellas. And they called us 2 days later and said no. For the companies that said yes, led by American Express and Gap, Motorola, they took a big risk. The reason that the new product partners come on is, of course, is that they have seen the data from the prior product partners. There's nothing that makes things sustainable like people making money. People always say, well, you guys are in the charity business. We're like, no. We're in the pro-social business. We're trying to act in a very hard-headed way. We don't want to be begging for money. oh, please help us. No, we want to sell some people something fun. You want a cool pair of sunglasses, buy these Armani sunglasses, and we get $20. But they're the same cool sunglasses. We're not asking you to do anything, tacky. Go buy a T-shirt that you don't want to wear. We want you to buy a T-shirt you want to wear. So it's a different strategy. We're told it's the most successful pro-social venture ever. And that's the heroism of the customers and the companies who put these products out. It's amazing. Now I go to Africa and somebody says, we took that red money and those 50 women that you see there are all alive because of that red money. That's pretty great.